Live.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
TWL, tonight it's Tuesday.
Hi.
So we got a new guest here. A lot of you know who she is because she's a good friend of ours. But Maria Palimino is stopped in because we're going to be talking about Hispanic Heritage Month, which is this month. And I did not know that until a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it goes all the way to October 15th.
Oh, so it actually is from the 15th to the 15th?
Yeah, it's a whole month.
Wow, that's interesting.
Oh, aren't you lucky?
Get a month.
Well, just not a month, the 15th to 15th.
Yeah.
So I'm totally excited to have you here, and thank you for coming in because I know it's not your biggest fun to be in front of the camera, but you know what? You always do so great.
Anything for you, my friend.
Well, thank you. So we're also going to hit on some local advertising as well as talk about my sister a little bit and an upcoming show that I'm actually going to be in. And Roberto's going to throw it up. It is on October 11th in Port Huron, and I will be Prince Uncharming or Alarming, depending on how you look at it, because it is Fairy Tales Gone Wrong, and it's the very first time I'm going to be on stage. You're coming?
Yeah, I'm going to
Look
be
at
there
this,
cheering
because
you
we
on.
have to eat right before at where?
The Raven.
The Raven, because if you haven't been to the Raven up there,
They raving about the Raven.
everybody's raving about the Raven. So anyways, I'm excited about that, and you can see here when it pops up. I'm excited about that. A good friend of mine is putting it on, and so you have to come up and see it. So I hate it when I'm talking and names just fly out of my head. It tends to happen the older I get. But one of the pinups is doing it, and her name will pop into my head. I cannot believe it. No. And so I am going to be Prince Charming Gone Wrong. So I'm going to be Prince Alarming. And we just got at my...
Basically, you're going to see what he looks like when he wakes up.
Alarming.
Alarming, yeah, right. That's funny. So I'm excited because we ordered the costume.
Can't wait.
And let me tell you, it is a Prince Charming costume. I'll give you a little bit, but there will be a ton of safety pins involved.
Oh, very dark.
A ton of patches and stickers involved. And then I got these little tiny, what are they called? They're for the champagne or wine glasses.
Oh, the little wine charms.
The little wine charms, because those are going to be attached to me at some point somehow. And I can't tell you how because we'll give it away, but I will be wearing my crowns. Stop it. And so
This is going to be his only charms.
my only charms. Steve's going to get to see me on stage for the first time. So I am really looking forward to it, and I am excited to be a part of it. And I'm excited that you're going to be able to see it.
Of course. We can't wait to see you.
So I'm not a big actor, trust me.
Oh, you acting too?
No. I don't think so. I'm probably going to have to come acting a fool. I'm probably going to have to come out and do some stuff, but it's more of a pinup contest, but for men, but in a Fairy Tales Gone Wrong.
There's no singing portion, is there?
Oh God, I hope not.
So
No,
do I.
because then everybody go running, right?
He's ruined
It's
more
over.
songs than I know.
We
So-
can go back to the Raven if that happens.
Yeah, right. So we went on a big trip and we talked about it last time. And I'm not going to go over New York or Washington, D.C., but I am going to bring up a picture of me and Steve with my sister in Seaside Heights, my sister Kelly. And we had a great time at Seaside Heights, did we not?
Yes, we did.
I mean, we didn't have long enough.
No, it was just a nice lunch in the afternoon, and it was the season was over for most of the restaurants in the boardwalk there. So
Yeah.
it was easy to get a seat. We got one right out by the beach, nice breeze, good food, good friends,
Oh, yeah.
all the way around.
We walked down, it was our first time, and my sister's like, look, okay, so there's the beachcomber, there's where Snooki got hit,
And
she has her own chair there.
memorialized in
So
the
you're
chair
New
she got
Jersey.
smacked in.
What?
You were in New Jersey.
We were in New Jersey. Yep,
Nice.
on Seaside, in Seaside Heights. Now,
Yeah.
you have you been there?
No, I had
No.
never been. But I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I watched the show.
You watched the show. So it's funny because I've never really watched the shows, but I've seen the clips of Snooki getting hit.
I've seen enough of it on TMZ and the other ones.
That's
Right.
pretty funny.
So we got to spend an afternoon with my sister, not long enough, like I said. And you see the pictures there of us standing in her front yard. She has a green thumb. So there's plants everywhere. But she took us to Seaside Heights, which is not far from her house, is it?
No.
Literally not even a mile. And we got to walk that boardwalk. It was just fantastic.
It was cool.
It was the amusement park has been rebuilt since
We didn't
the
get down
hurricane.
that
Coney
far.
Island.
No, this
Right.
was the Seaside Heights.
Oh, okay,
Where
so
the
it's two
big
different.
so back with it's Sandy Hook, right? The big or what was it? The
hurricane?
the big hurricane
I think
that
it was
hit
Sandy,
wiped
yeah.
out the entire boardwalk, and it's all rebuilt and beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's the picture of her. So hopefully she's watching and can see that. Oh, Scott Randall says awesome. Love it. So tell me,
Tell you,
you were born and raised in Spain.
I was.
Is it a big difference from Spain to here? Because Spain is my how do I put this? Spain
Your
is
dream country.
it's my dream country. It is to move there, to live there, to
Food.
spend the rest of my life there. The food, the stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's always been a dream of mine to go and to.
Am I going to be there? Or?
Well, of course you're going to
Okay.
be there.
Just checking.
We've been planning a trip to Spain for the past 10 years.
It
and
was
still
you,
haven't.
you, me, you, not any us. So,
Well, I don't know, just a
Just
few
making
minutes
sure.
ago.
Okay. Okay.
So we do this all the
That's
time.
for another show.
So should it be my dream place to live?
It should be. We
Why?
have the friendliest people,
Exactly.
the most beautiful coast, the best food, the most delicious wines. I know you don't drink wine, but I will drink it
No.
for you. Art, architecture, history.
It was big of her to put herself on the line like that and drink the wine for you.
Right,
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, it was
Not many
very-
friends would do that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not opposed to liking wine.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I don't mind wine,
No.
but I just don't like the after effect it gives me the
Okay.
next day.
Well, it's why you only have a little.
Exactly. So, what do you miss the most about Spain?
Somebody asked me that question the other day, and other than the obvious,
Right.
Family, friends.
Well, of
that
course.
I love the camaraderie when you walk in.
Camaraderie.
Thank you. When you walk in anywhere, you
Mhm.
can find a friend or a stranger, and you can chit chat. The time is slower. People will talk to you and have conversations. Here, we always rushing. In some
Mhm.
cases, you not even know your neighbor. You not even know their last name. There, you knew your neighbors.
I
There,
know
you knew.
two of our neighbors. That's
Right.
it.
That was the difference. And that's one thing that I miss. Being able to say, I'm going for a walk
Mhm.
to get a cup of coffee 2 miles down the street and talk to some friends, some neighbors, or even a stranger that you stop by. I miss that.
So you grew up. Say the name for me.
I grew up in Alcalá de Henares.
Alcalá.
Yeah.
So that's you said was 30 miles north of Madrid.
It's around 30-minute drive north of Madrid. Yeah.
So is Madrid hustle bustle, because that is one of the biggest cities or the biggest city?
I think anytime you get to a downtown in a big city, is more of that.
Yeah.
But the suburbs, it slows down.
It slows down.
I mean, you still will see the stores that close at 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock for siesta.
Oh yeah.
It's too hot. People go
Right?
home.
I'm always up for a siesta.
They also work till 8 p.m. at night in the
Right.
stores and that, but you get that 2 hours to go home and enjoy a meal
Or a nap or whatever you need.
you need to do, and then you go back into the work. So if you go into the stores at 2 o'clock, you're not gonna get much.
So is that common over there?
Yeah.
Siesta time's normal, kind of like
Pretty much
high tea
universal.
time in Europe.
Those times.
Those times is like 2 to 4, 3 to 5 is.
So here in
sometimes.
America, we have happy hour during those times.
There you go. The happy hour we see.
Without sounding stupid or racist,
No.
so siesta isn't traditionally
A
what's
rest.
been portrayed as the guy in the sombrero sitting on the ground.
The guy in the
covering his
sombrero
eyes.
sitting in the ground probably just worked the fields from sun up, and now he needs a rest.
I didn't
because
realize
he's
it was a
been
real
working.
thing. I thought it was just something that
No,
was
it is, but
a
I mean,
stereotype of sorts.
yeah,
that
that's what they do. But like people will work the fields for 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning.
The siesta is
and
a
2
resting
o'clock,
time.
They needed to take some rest because it's also super hot.
Yeah.
So you can't work anymore. So you take a couple-hour nap and then you get up and work when the weather is cooler.
Mhm.
But it's interpreted as I'm too lazy. I don't want to take a nap.
what part of the United States would be similar in climate and seasons?
Depends on the part of Spain that you're talking about, but like the Madrid area, some people have mentioned like Georgia,
Okay.
where the weather in Georgia is
And is
warm,
that
it's
southern or
drier.
northern Spain?
Madrid is the center. The southern you go, the hotter it's gonna get.
So your
John
weather
is watching. John, your husband is watching.
Oh,
Hello,
hey,
John.
honey.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay.
No, just interesting.
So Madrid
without
is
looking at a
center.
globe, I don't know where
Mhm.
it sits on
Yeah,
near the
I
equator.
think if you look at it, it's probably through Georgia, Kentucky kind
Okay.
of area.
So Madrid is landlocked. It's in the center of the country, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and because Spain is bordered by
We have France at
France
the top,
top.
Andorra, which is a tiny little
Mhm.
country between France and Spain. It's only one city, but it's a country. And then Portugal.
Portugal.
Yeah.
So Barcelona would be the coast,
Right.
just south of France.
It's south of France, the coast, and the Mediterranean. But we also have two other bodies of water.
Should I get a globe?
Get a globe.
Yeah.
Get a globe.
Yeah, because you know what? It's funny because I can vision Spain,
Yeah.
and I know you have different bodies of water,
Right.
and that you do not really connect on the west,
We are,
but the south and the Gibraltar.
if it would have been from France, we will be an island.
Right.
We are peninsula because
Yeah.
we have a connection. So in the north, by France, we have the Cantabria Sea, which is a
Mhm.
smaller wild sea under England.
Right.
Toward Portugal, which we also have some islands in that side of the ocean.
Oh.
We have the.
Oh.
There you go.
Isn't this? We're gonna have a. Is
lovely
this
thing.
blocking
History
anything?
lesson.
No.
Okay.
I love
So
this.
here we have Spain. That's America.
Nope, it's right here.
Yeah.
Hold on, go down.
Right here.
You found it?
That
this
no,
way.
it's over here.
Up. This is
Yeah.
Africa, so we're right there.
Yeah. So you have the Mediterranean. You have
This ocean.
yeah
Atlantic,
the Atlantic, and then
and
we've
then
got
this one, which is the
East, the
basin.
European
You got a
basin.
shitload of seas over
Yeah.
there. too.
And then of course the Gibraltar.
Spin it a little
Yeah.
bit.
Do you need it?
No, I just want to see.
No, go ahead. I was.
One just
Here.
spin.
I'll set it over there.
Yeah. So we have three oceans. We have two sets.
Oh, yeah,
One
okay.
near Portugal is still our from Spain. It's a territorial of Spain, and then the islands and Mediterranean as well.
Now you talk about how the neighbors and stuff. If Steve and I went there, because I mean we couldn't be any whiter, and from America, how would we be treated? Do you think?
I mean,
Are they good with? I mean,
my
from
my husband was pretty welcoming to my family, and he's an
Awesome.
American
I love
tall
that.
man. They
Yep.
barely spoke Spanish, so my family loves him as he is an honorary Spaniard.
I love
You
that.
know, so yeah.
So I have some stuff out here. I have, of course, just a few things just to talk about Spain. We actually had a customer in, Don Bean, who's probably watching, who, excuse me, is actually traveling in a month to Barcelona.
Nice.
And her and her family go on they're going on a cruise, and it's leaving Barcelona, and it's going down by Gibraltar, I think.
Yep.
But we've gotten like some Barcelona. It's so funny. You're like, oh, look, Barcelona.
Yeah.
But Yardro, have you ever been to the factory?
I have not been to the factory, but I do love Yadros.
I do too.
have a few.
Yardro
too
is
many.
Spanish.
Yeah, it's made in Valencia.
Valencia,
Yeah, and
Spain.
it is two kinds. It's Yadro, Ladro.
correct.
That is the fancy, nicest
Yep.
one.
And then
And then
nail.
if it's a little bit of they didn't work out so perfect. They have like an off brand called NAO.
Yeah, nail.
Yeah, nail.
And it tends to be a little bit less expensive. So
Right.
that way, if you don't have a ton of money,
Right.
you can't buy like the big ones. Like my mother has a ton of them. Trust me.
Yeah. And they're more eloquent. They may have flowers and
Yeah.
things like that. When it's a Yadro, where now you don't see those. You just have
Right.
the colors.
When we went to Hollywood and to Beverly Hills, and we went into the Yardro store in Beverly Hills on Rodeo Drive. And I walked in, and it was my mom's birthday, remember?
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, let's find something small to get my mom because she
Mhm.
collects Yardro, right? So we're looking at these little tiny ducks wearing a cap that was made of flowers. They were literally this big,
Yeah.
Little
like-
swimming cap.
right? I'm like, oh, well, those can't be that expensive. Maybe $600-700 or $300.
Yeah, you should probably cheaper to fly to Spain and
It was
buy them.
$3,000 each, or no, $1,000 each.
Yeah.
It
you can
was,
buy
it was
a
up there,
plate.
but
It was
wasn't
because
so-
of the flowers.
Yes. they're very
And
expensive.
so I ended up buying a candle for like $100 from
Yeah. This time just fly to Spain and buy them.
Well,
A little
that's
cheaper.
many people in the 80s would do that. They would fly to Spain, they would visit, they would entertain, or you know what I mean? And
Right.
then they would buy there and actually bring it home and be cheaper,
Much cheaper.
much cheaper. What were you going to say?
just so we get called for them all the time. They're getting to the point almost like being Hummels, where people are
Mhm.
trying to get rid of big collections of them.
They
Oh,
are, but you
no,
have to
they're priceless.
realize when it comes to yard row, there will be standard yard row that drop in value, but then there will be discontinued yard rows
Mhm.
that will maintain or increase in value. But you have to know what they are, because what happens is with like yard rows, and I don't think Hummels is the same, maybe,
For what?
that once they discontinue.
Oh no, Hummels, retire them and they have different marks. Two Hummels that look identical that are made 50 years apart could be 5-6 times difference in price.
So
Just
we're going to do a
depends.
show in the future that is going to be, we haven't decided what we're going to call it, but it's going to talk about things that have dropped dramatically.
Yeah.
And that do not pull the same value in what you bought them at.
What are the ones that just, top 5 that come to your mind first?
Hummels.
Rel Daltons,
Mhm.
Beanie Babies,
Mhm. Collector plates.
Oh,
Mhm.
Off the top of my head, those 4.
And then Morbid Moments, the originals.
Oh, Precious
Oh,
Moments.
Precious Moments.
Pretty much
there's your
any-
top 5.
Any of
Boomer
the
Funko Pop.
collectibles,
Yeah.
Exactly, Boomer Fun.
any of the
That is so true. Did you
collectibles
hear
that
him?
were made to be collected and sold as something that was going to increase
Yeah.
in value if you kept it in its box and never used it.
It's not
Most
true.
of those things are collector Barbies, all
Yeah.
that stuff. They target it towards a population that
Mhm.
thought this was going to be their retirement and they were investing in their future,
Yeah,
and they
And
were
it didn't work
just
out.
kind of
No.
like Labubu's, people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yard row, I have an affinity for yard rows. I enjoy them. I grew up with them because my mother loved them and collect
Right.
them. So therefore I collected a ton, and then we got rid of a lot of them.
Fun fact,
Yes.
I grew up in Spain. I had no clue what Jadros was until I met my husband. It was not a
Interesting.
big thing.
It may not be a
they
big
were
thing there.
fancy. It was fancy. You could find them for fancy gifts. My mom didn't have any. I never paid attention. I also was very
that's
young.
funny you say
But
that.
then when Americans were coming to
Mhm.
Spain, they were looking
For
that
these
one
types of
item, and
things.
Jadros was the one thing that everybody was crazy about, and I didn't know much
marketed
about.
collectibles.
Yeah.
That makes total sense to me, because I was talking to somebody who was born in Italy
Yeah.
and grew up in Italy and never ever heard
Of Alabastro.
no
Oh.
of
Capo
Murano.
Durante.
Oh.
Oh.
And because it's an island and they live nowhere near it.
Right.
Plus they grew up and nobody in the family ever collected glass or anything.
Well, I think
Right.
most of these things are marketed out of the country. They're for export mainly.
Yeah.
They probably sell them domestically, but they're made to represent that country in the world as far as these
Right.
souvenir and collectible type things.
I went to Spain and I got this.
Right.
You
Or
know, what
Germany
a
with
great-
the Hummels.
That is a great point, because I lived in San Francisco along the same lines. I lived in San Francisco for a huge portion of my life.
Yeah.
Never once stepped foot on Alcatraz.
I mean, what were you?
Well, but the thing is, now I wish I would have,
Oh,
because who knows if I'm ever going to get back there.
it's just so sad.
Do you know what I mean? So there were times like when my ex and his family came in and they're like, oh, we're going to Alcatraz. I'm like, oh, don't worry. I have to work, not to worry, blah, blah, blah. But then now I'm like, I never stepped foot on Alcatraz and I lived there for 12 years.
Yeah.
So don't ever, I mean,
When you want to do
learn
something,
it. Just do it,
'Cause
right?
You never know when
Absolutely.
you're not gonna do it and-
We
So-
had some people in the other day from New York, and I told them we'd just been there. Oh, those
Mhm.
4 guys, remember they came
Yeah.
in? And they were saying they've never been to the Empire State Building. They said all these things that, New Yorkers don't
Mhm.
do, because all the tourists do it, but the New Yorkers
don't think
themselves
of it.
They gotta
just
go to
don't
work.
really do it.
And you know what? I live in right outside 30. What are we? 20 miles outside of Detroit?
Yeah.
20 miles outside of Detroit. And do you know something? I've never been to Motown.
Me neither. Let's do it.
Neither have I.
And,
Let's do
and
it.
all of us
We'll
live
do it.
here, and we've
I'm a
never been to
musician.
Motown. I know, and we've never been to Motown. Now we should all go.
Yeah. Filter.
We've been everywhere here in Detroit otherwise, because we film our Icon series here.
Right.
And so, but Motown doesn't need an Icon series, because Motown is Motown.
Yeah.
It's here.
It's here.
No, I
It's
mean,
here.
Yeah.
It is. But that doesn't excuse the fact that none of us have been to
Yeah.
Motown. You've been there.
No.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
Now, we have an excuse a little bit, because neither of us were born and raised here.
Right.
You both were.
I wasn't born here.
Well, no, you were raised here. So,
To a lot of people, I don't think it was necessarily that safe in people's
go.
eyes.
Well,
Yeah.
back
to go
then,
down
yes.
till the last 5,
Plus,
10 years.
Motown at one point was, or up until recently, was just a house.
Right.
And it was a
Huge
tiny
area.
house.
Yeah.
You know
a
what I
lot of
mean?
people grew up. I mean, we grew up. We were transfers here. We came here in '67. The riots happened right after we got here. We were 5 blocks from them
Mhm.
in a lower flat. My dad got us a house on a land contract at 8.5 in Harper,
Yeah.
St. Clair Shores.
On land contract. I love
And-
that.
And that was it. I mean, we as transplants believed all the hype and negativity that we'd heard.
Right.
And
Without knowing
we
any
didn't
better.
go below 8 Mile. It was
Right.
just, if you did go below 8 Mile, it was because you had to. You kept your doors locked and you made sure you had a full tank of gas.
So when you moved here, I've heard that throughout all
So
of
I never
Yeah.
got to
the
see
time.
Hudson's. I would love to have seen
I
Hudson's
never saw
Toy
Hudson's
Department.
either.
I didn't start going down
Did you
to
go to
Detroit
Hudson's?
until
No.
the 80s
No?
when
No,
I
no,
started
no.
going down there to see bands, when I got into the punk scene.
Right.
And I would go down to see
Mm-hmm.
bands at St. Andrews and things like that.
Fine.
But prior to that, Detroit was not something I
You
really
went to.
partook of.
So
I'm trying to think if there's somewhere in San Diego being raised there that I didn't go, but in the 80s, you went everywhere.
tell me.
I was going to ask you a question based off what he said. What did the people in, what do you get when you go home? And I know you've been here a long time, but let's say you go home and you meet somebody new or somebody you haven't seen in a while. Do they question you about Detroit?
Not so much Detroit, but everybody wants to come and visit and go to Florida, New York, California.
Mhm. Do they
and
know you don't
probably-
live in those places?
Right. All within a week. We have a week of vacation.
All within a
Can we
week.
come and see? No. You
Mhm.
get one
Do you have
state.
to explain to them that, okay,
It's the
I'm going to come there for a
distance.
week and go to Barcelona, go to Valencia, go to,
You could, because we have speed
you have the
trains,
trains. We don't have the
and
speed
very
trains.
affordably. You can
Okay,
go from one side to the other.
So Spain has speed trains. You're right, because when we looked into Barcelona to Madrid, it was only 2 hours
Right.
on the speed train.
And like, what, $50?
Yeah, it wasn't much at all, because they always say when you go to Europe, do not pay for first class on things, because it's not the same first class that we have here, that it's pretty much the same.
Right.
So, but we need to get on the ball
Yeah.
and get some speed trains so that people can come
They
here
can go
and
to
go
5
to
different
Chicago
Yeah.
or go to New York or go to even Toronto for that
Right.
matter, because we're all within what was our drive from New York here? It was 8 hours, wasn't it? It's not far.
With the Beltway.
Yeah, well, don't ever get on the Beltway, because every show from here on out until the day I die, I'm going to talk about the damn Beltway on the in Staten Island. Stay away from it.
So Detroit,
Yes.
we do have, and I'm guilty because I haven't been, a huge Mexican village.
Oh, I have been there.
Yeah, never been. The food, the culture, the story.
Yes.
Never been there?
So, no.
Shit, I've
So-
done that.
Let's do that.
So we need to go.
Go down and get
Um,
that tongue soup.
Oh, shush.
Oh, not
Tripe.
tongue soup.
He's talking about tripe.
Menudo.
Yeah.
Isn't it
Menudo?
menudo?
Or menudo. I love menudo.
You
So,
just don't need to ask what it is. You just eat it.
so when Steve first went down to
Homie
Mexican
don't
town
play
with
that.
me, and we're going to talk about this a little bit because, we have Day of the Dead here we're going to talk about, and the difference between Spain's de Muertos and Mexico's, which celebrate on the 1st and the 2nd of November, or the 6th, or the 30th and 31st, depending on what region you're in.
Okay.
Spain and Mexico both look at it as November 1st and November 2nd.
Yes.
But Mexican Village is great to go down to, but I took him the first time we went with him. I was like, I'm not going to Xochimilco's. I'm not going to
Nope.
eat Tex-Mex. I want the small stuff.
Mhm.
Being born and raised in Southern California, real Mexican food.
And it was a buffet, so I was sold.
So
There you
I
go.
went into, we go into the little
I
tiny,
had choices.
mom and pop stores there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the best food in the whole wide
Right.
world.
We need to do it.
But there is a difference between Mexican food and Spanish food.
Of course.
And Mexican Village is mostly Mexican food.
Correct.
Because we've eaten at a few Spanish restaurants that, oh my God,
You
they're
have
so
eaten
good.
in the best restaurant in town.
I have, your house, many times. So,
It is.
It is.
oh my God, you should see the food she makes. Oh my
Let's
goodness.
talk about my kitchen.
Yes,
My
and your cat.
And my cat.
And your cat that falls over.
Too much wine.
I love it. So, Day of the Dead. How did you grow up celebrating Day of the Dead?
I grew up celebrating El Dia de los Santos, which is the Day of the Dead in Spain.
Okay,
And I got prepared for this conversation.
awesome.
It's a little bit different between Mexico and Spain.
It is. Mhm.
Because the Mexican tradition celebrates their spirits.
Correct.
And it is traditions from the natives of the
Mhm.
Mexican villages there, and the Christianity, where Spain focused more on religion.
Okay.
So in Spain, I remember going to cemeteries, lighting candles,
Mhm.
bringing flowers, praying over your family
With the
members. So,
food and everything.
we didn't bring food.
Okay, so
It
I know
was
in
just
Mexico they do
flowers.
that.
Uh, they
Mhm.
celebrate more ways, kind of like a festival of
Right.
the
Spain
memories
does.
and all that. No,
No, Mexico
Right.
does.
And Spain is more religious based,
So it's more of
more
a
Christian.
memorial than a
More of
festival.
a memorial. You go and you clean up the tombstones, you bring flowers, you pray
Mhm.
over your family members. Some people may stay all night with them as accompany them, but there is more of a festival. There
They're
is
more
more
of a festival.
colors and
Hmm.
light and
So
happiness.
these depict more Mexican tradition,
Yes.
right? So what type of things do
I will say candles and
more
flowers.
candles?
It's more of a very set.
Very
To
solemn.
them, it's like celebrating their memory, and in Spain, is celebrating their soul, and it's kind of a little sad because you just
Okay.
missing them.
Solemn.
Yeah, solemn,
Yeah.
more
But
religious.
that is another part of Spain and Mexico that I love so
Yeah.
much, is because you guys honor the people who have passed.
Right.
And I come from a family where we lost quite a few people.
Yes.
And so we used to do a series called Say Their Names, which we should start doing again,
Yeah.
where we would just read the names and the birth and death
From
dates of
funeral
people.
cards.
Yeah.
Funeral cards
Just
from
random ones I found at
Yeah.
sales.
old ones,
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of
for
them
the
were
most
30s,
part.
40s, 50s,
Yeah.
60s.
Because I think it's important
Yes.
for the memory of not just our families and our loved ones, but for this earth, for the planet, for human history in itself, for us to remember the people who made us who we are.
We will not be here for those that came before
Right.
us. However, they're related to us, or they just,
And-
build the land for us to live on.
Right. And in Spanish and Mexican culture, they pretty much revere their ancestry,
Right.
as well as their elders.
Yeah, and we go back for generations because in many cases we've been there for a long time. So my brother has a room full with, I think is my 3-time grandfather. Where
Mhm.
will that be? With his pictures. I can go to this village and it's generations, like 6 or 7 generations ahead of me. Where in many places here you might not be able to go that far because people
In a
came
lot of
from
places,
they came from so many places, so they were brought here and lost their culture by
Well-
bringing them here, so they don't have that. And
For
it-
some,
Yeah.
it was a Spanish person who actually discovered us. For some.
Yeah.
And I say for some because America Vespucci and
I mean,
Christopher
America
Columbus.
was here,
Italian.
the natives
Yeah.
were here, yeah, but yeah, Christopher
Columbus
gets the
came
credit.
from
But
got
he was
credit.
Italian, but he was
But the
representing
the
the king.
queen,
the king and queen
Isabella, Ferdinand and
paid for
Isabella.
the trip, and their contract or whatever you wanted to call it at
Mhm.
the time was signed in the city I grew up.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, it is a building, and it is
Hmm.
a table and a desk, and it's supposed to be where Christopher Columbus met with the queen and king to talk about the
Hmm.
trip.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I know that getting into who discovered America, but he was still
He was lost and see. He was looking for India. And
yeah,
ended
he
up
got
here.
lost, and he ended up on Hispaniola,
There you go. Yeah.
which is, if you guys don't know what Hispaniola is, it's the island that holds Punta Cana and Haiti.
Yeah.
So that is the
not
true
Punta
name.
Cana is not the country; that's a city.
No, the country is Hispaniola. So, or the island is Hispaniola, owned by different countries. But that's where he actually landed.
Yeah.
And so, it's just fascinating. Spain has always fascinated me, especially when you talk about Day of the Dead and the integration of Spain's culture in Mexico, because there's a huge tie in there.
Right. And it is great that they bring both together. They bring their native
Exactly.
traditions with the traditions that was forced kind of into them in one point, and now they
Mhm.
just grow up to be the Mexican country
Right.
with their own traditions.
With their own traditions and growing and stuff.
But they keep everything, and that's wonderful when you keep, you don't forget.
Well, and I like it because growing up in San Diego, it tied in a lot of the Mexican culture because, like I said, my Spanish is horrible now, but I couldn't
My
graduate.
English is too.
I couldn't graduate high school in San Diego without being fluent in Spanish because you won't get a job unless you're bilingual.
Right.
And but I haven't used it. I've used it so rarely that I lose it.
Right.
you know.
That's why we need to go to
Well, the
Spain.
thing you got to remember about Spain is at one point it was the superpower for
Yes.
hundreds of years.
Oh yeah.
And its control over territories and
Oh, it's had its good, its
thing,
bad. It's
but
just like any other.
But 400 years later,
yeah.
there's Spanish influence worldwide
Oh,
Yes, it
worldwide.
because
Yeah.
of everything they did and all the places they were.
Yeah.
And the Mexican-American War added a lot to that, especially when the Texas, the California, because those were all those were all Mexico.
And I think you're talking way before that.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking
yeah, yeah,
15, 1600s.
Which, through my research today,
Uh-huh.
I find out that we have the oldest castle, the second oldest castle in Europe, and it
Oh,
was built in 608 AD.
AD.
608 AD,
so 600 years
After
after death.
1500
Yeah.
years old, about
Yeah.
1400
and
years
it's
old.
the
That's
second
crazy.
oldest castle in Europe.
So Steve got you this,
I know it's beautiful. I love
and
it.
it's Sevilla. And Steve, what is this?
Sevilla.
It's
Say
the
it again.
Sevilla.
Sevilla.
Yeah.
The 1992 World Exposition,
And I think it's interesting. I
which
know I
is
keep dropping stuff.
comparable to a World's Fair.
Yeah.
I don't know why they call some expositions and some World's Fairs, but
We'll
it's
have to
kind of
look
one and
at
the
it.
same every
Yeah.
4 years.
I was here already in 1992.
Yeah, you came over in 90, right?
Right.
Yep. So in 1992, but this, so how far is this from you?
Sevilla is all the way straight down from Madrid, south.
So is it down by Gibraltar?
Maybe a few hours because
A
they
few
don't have
hours.
the ocean.
Right.
them,
Is it
so it's
more
a couple-
touristy there?
It's very touristy.
Very touristy.
Flamenco dancing.
Mhm.
This is
Barber
the heart of-
Seville.
Yeah, the Barber of Seville.
Well, I know
yeah.
the last time you went home you went to a flamingo.
We went to a flamenco show.
A
Yeah,
flamenco
we got
show.
invited, and it was beautiful.
Were you
Was it?
talking dancing?
I
Yeah.
was dancing
That-
and singing.
Isn't that flamenco?
It's
C?
flamenco. with
So
a
that's
C.
not the same as a G
Oh.
with a flamingo.
No, a flamingo is a
Flamenco.
pink bird.
It's
a
pink-
Flamenco is a beautiful dancer.
Flamingo's a pink bird.
Yeah.
I just knew there was a C in
Yeah,
it, but I
we
didn't
got
know if
to-
there's any.
We got invited to go
Mhm.
to this flamenco show by a friend of my brother, and my son was there with his friend Jasmine, and it was funny because they all were so welcoming. As soon as they took us backstage, and all the dancers came running to welcome the Americans. They kind of pushed me to the side, like, "Oh, the Americans are here!"
Oh,
And they
that's,
were so
even though
excited.
you're pretty much the
They were
same.
sweet,
No,
friendly.
I know.
I
But,
thought you was a local.
Yeah, it was. I'm a local,
I love
but it was
that.
super sweet because they were really welcoming to everybody, and it was a lot of fun. We had a great time.
That is cool. Now, so I just wanted to show a few things. You have it right here. Like these are the Day of the Dead for the Mexican Day of the Dead.
Yep.
Somebody made these, I think, right, Steve?
Yeah.
This
they're
is
all
ceramic. Yeah.
Yeah,
homemade
that's a
with
candle
wire.
holder, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're all
Isn't that
homemade with
pretty?
wire and
Yeah.
clay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
They are probably from what? The 90s, 2000s,
Yeah.
probably.
More modern.
But
No.
I mean, these are what now this is what I'm used
Now
to
they
seeing.
probably have his significance to people who know the
What
culture.
does that say?
Chihuahua, Michigan, Mexico. It looks like maybe a last name or a city. I don't know.
But then just
Yeah,
Mexico.
Mexico and Michigan. You
Yeah,
see?
Michigan and
Yeah.
Mexico. Okay, so this is what I'm used to seeing because Tijuana was our playground growing up,
Right.
Can they
and
see them?
it would be this right here where they're
Super
sitting
cute.
on the grave site,
Yeah.
and they have their food laid out because I know that when I attended a couple of the Day of the Dead festivities in Tijuana with my friend Sandy and a couple of people they knew in Tijuana, they went to the grave sites, but they put out a big spread of food.
Yeah.
Along with fire or flowers
Because
and
they
stuff,
believe their ancestors will come and we want to
and
celebrate.
we'll celebrate with
you
us.
celebrate with food.
Exactly. So they would put out these huge, these huge
Fests.
feasts,
Nice.
and of course, all of the living who were there ate as well. But they always left food and they left it there overnight.
Right.
I wonder if
Well,
I
you
never
notice
went
there's a
back to see if it
cigarette
was
too?
gone.
So I wonder if any
That
of the
wouldn't
spirits are
surprise me.
jonesing for a cigarette.
That wouldn't surprise me. That looks like it's a little bit bigger than a cigarette. So you guys would go to the gravesite with flowers and pray.
Not so much of the festival that they
Right.
do, the color of the lights. The last time, not my last time, a time before I was there for November 1st, and we went to the cemetery to visit grandparents and that. And it was a beautiful sight because the city,
That's
it's a very
awesome.
tiny little village. So
Mhm.
the city went and bought flowers for all tombstones, even for
Oh,
those
that's fantastic.
they don't have family members. So when you walk in, it was impressive to see all these beautiful fresh flowers and every single tombstone from, again, my ancestors. You know, everybody in that village is related in one way or another because it was so small.
So I wonder, Barcelona is as compacted as New York.
Yes, it's very big.
So
It's a huge
Barcelona would not have the real estate for cemeteries like New York. So they would go outskirts, right?
Some of them are more into the suburbs. Yeah, that you won't.
Do
You don't
they-
find a cemetery right in the downtown.
No,
They're
but
always
in New
the
York,
suburbs.
they encourage cremation over burial, whereas I don't think in like Spain and Mexico.
Well, my parents were pretty old when they died, and they both were cremated, and that was their choice.
So, but are they?
Changing.
It's changing
It's
as well.
changing.
So I wonder how that holiday
But I guess
that holiday is
The
going to
question
change.
would be, they're cremated, but where are they interred? Are they kept in urns, or are they interred in the
They
ground in a
were,
grave?
they wanted to be back in their property, in a property they have. It was,
Okay, so then you just
property
go
that was there forever. So we go to this
to the
beautiful
property.
tree and
Oh,
visit.
see, I love that. Okay, so it's not necessarily the aspect of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well, thank you. I mean, this is so cool.
We didn't talk about my favorite.
We're
thing.
going to go to that.
Oh, okay. Go on.
So you're talking about Pablo Picasso?
I was talking about Quixote, but we
Oh,
can
Don
talk about
Quixote. Let's go
Picasso.
to Don Quixote. Go ahead.
So I grew up,
And I know she loves him.
Yeah, I love him because I grew up in Alcalá de Henares.
Uh-huh.
As I mentioned, 30 minutes north of Madrid,
Uh-huh.
and that is where Miguel de Cervantes wrote El Quixote. El
Oh.
Quixote it was written in the early 1600s. Can't
Mhm.
remember exact date, and he sold 500 million books. That
Oh,
is
yes,
the
this
same
is a
amount
good
of books
Yeah.
as Harry Potter whole series has been sold. So that is pretty impressive.
One book versus how
I
many?
think it's
12?
6.
11?
I don't know how many
books?
does Harry Potter has.
8 or 9. Anyways, it's got a ton of books.
Yep. So one book sold as many as the whole series of Harry Potter. It's growing up, I was able to go. I thought it was so boring because we went to Cervantes' house in my town as a field trip. And I got to see the handwritten manuscript of El Quixote.
So
Now it's moved to a museum.
I was going to say, is it?
But I
Yeah.
got to see it, and I used to go to the house and go like, I can't believe I'm in this house again. And now every time I go, is one stop. We have to stop and see.
That is
Cervantes' house.
awesome.
His crypt is there. Again, he wrote the book in
Right.
the 1600s. So the crypt where he was raised, his house, his father was a doctor. So, he had money, and
Mhm.
that's why he was able to write a book and become. But he also fought in a couple of battles. He lost his right hand, so he learned to write with his left hand because at that time, writing with your left hand
Was evil.
Was
Mhm.
evil. So, Cervantes was pretty cool, and he grew up in the same city I grew up. So I take a lot of pride in Quixote.
And I have to tell you, I am 55 with my right hand. I am 2 with my left hand.
Too.
Meaning-
you can use it for something. I
can pick
scratch
stuff
myself.
up.
Yeah.
I can pick stuff up and put it in my mouth like a 2-year-old. But
So
that's about it.
we covered Quixote. So I wanted to.
That is
share how
fantastic.
proud I
And
was.
you know what? It's so funny. I should have put up a picture of Don Quixote, but I
We
know
have it
you
right
love
here
him.
in this jet
I
bag.
do have one right here.
That's
Don
him.
Quixote. Yeah.
Quixote was the character in the book.
Mhm.
They love to read, something we have in common. And he read so many books that he went crazy. So the story of his book is him losing his mind, and it's because he read.
How
so
come
many,
all the great people went crazy at the end of their lives?
Because it's a lot of crap to deal with.
Picasso went crazy at the end of his life.
Right. I think they're so artistic that their brains works in a
Mhm.
different way.
Because you found something once.
Sure. What?
You found something once. Wasn't it Pablo Picasso's one of his students? The toothbrush
No.
container?
And nothing to do with Picasso.
Oh.
That was 1890s to 1900, long before him.
Was it who? Wasn't it a famous artist
Dali
protege?
was the
It
one
was
that was.
Louis Wayne.
Louis Wayne's protege.
I think Dali was the one that was. I won't say he was crazy. I think he was eccentric.
Eccentric.
Yeah.
Well, all artists have a certain.
Yeah, but Picasso was
Mhm.
more out of all the actors, painters. I think he maybe was a little bit more normal. Dali is the one that when you look at his designs of buildings and paintings, you go like, what he was thinking, the clock melting in the sky.
Right.
Yeah, he was a beautiful stuff, and I happy I was able to see some of his buildings in Barcelona.
That is
So that's
awesome.
pretty cool.
So some of the other people that I put up on here that he's going to throw up is Pablo Picasso.
Yeah.
And who was the other one?
Dali.
Salvador Dali.
Yeah.
So those are people you love.
Yeah, both of them are beautiful artists. They're part of the history, and they share. At least Picasso, he was really outspoken through the Civil War,
Right.
and he painted the Guernica,
Mhm.
and that is a very historical painting that's been created. It is huge, and it just talks about the devastation of war when a village was just bombed, and a Sunday when it was market day. So the bad guy came in, and he had some German planes coming to that village when everybody was doing their shopping.
Oh, wow.
And just bombed the village. So
Have you been to the village?
No, it is very north.
Very north.
But
Mhm.
yeah, and Picasso took the moment to paint. If you know the story and you watch the paint, it's very heartbreaking to see where he's telling us with that gigantic painting that takes a whole wall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite is
Make it fun.
Make it fun.
Yeah, that was very sad.
One of my favorites is the next image. Go ahead and put her up.
That is every lady's favorite.
Is it?
Yeah.
So she is
Frida Kahlo.
Yeah, Frida Kahlo. She is everywhere. And anything Frida Kahlo, Pablo Picasso, even Salvador Dali, anything is collectible, is it not? People go nuts over it.
She has a big connection here because of her association with the DIA.
Yeah.
Correct. So what is that association? Do you remember?
She was with Diego Rivera.
Diego Rivera, that's right.
And he was doing the murals at the DIA.
Yeah.
So she does have and I think that some of her stuff is at the DIA.
She seemed to have burst onto the scene like 20 years ago,
I think
almost out of nowhere, but
because we learned her story.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd never heard of her previously. I'd known about.
I did because
Diego
she's
Right.
A lot of people in Mexico love her.
I think it's as soon as you discover this person and what wonderful things they did. Yeah, it was
so colorful, so beautiful,
Yeah,
so
I did get
floral.
to see her exhibit in the DIA before. They
Did
brought
you?
It up. Yeah.
So Frida Kahlo is one of my favorite when it comes to Mexican art or to Spanish artists.
Okay.
But I mean, any of the one of them, can you hand me my paper right there?
Yeah.
Is the glassmaker La Fiore.
Yeah, you educated me today.
So La Fiore did glass, really thick Coke bottle glass. We've had the confetti inside of it, stuff like that. I didn't put a picture up, but when you come across his stuff, do you remember those?
Doesn't look familiar to me.
These, the heavy confetti glasses.
I think I saw them in some grandma's house.
They're what's funny is it's very similar to what you would find today.
Yeah.
It's really thick glass. It's got the colorful confetti in it. It's got stuff like that. So he is one of my favorite glass designers, but there are so many collectibles in this, probably, and I only grabbed a few things, but there's a ton of collectibles that come out of Spanish talent.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not just glass blowing or pottery, but from clothing.
Game of Thrones, all the clothes design was made in Valencia.
Valencia's north, right?
Valencia, no, it's south in the Mediterranean. A little bit.
It's because when we were talking about going to Spain, we were told to try not to go to certain places because they're not big on tourists. Where do you think the most
I don't know, because
best place for a tourist to go?
I mean, depends on what you're looking for. If it is your first time there, you want to go to Barcelona, you want to go to Madrid because you want to see those things.
Right.
You've been there a few times. It's so many other beautiful, tiny little villages that you can go and have a nice meal, learn a lot of history. You don't have to go to a museum. You can walk in any given church, and it is the most beautiful art inside these buildings. So, if it is your first time, you have to do the touristy thing, right?
Course.
If you come here, you gotta go to New York or you gotta go to Disney.
Of course.
Do I want to ever go back again? Maybe not. It's
Maybe
other
not.
Places
not after you realize how expensive Disney is.
Right.
You guys mentioned how culinary taste changes from where you're at. What about musically? Because you mentioned flamenco.
Good point.
With me as a musician, I know flamenco guitar, but is there certain music that comes from different areas?
Yeah, so depends. The guitar is very strong everywhere in Spain. But if you go back to the northern part of Spain through Galicia and near France, you will hear a lot of they play the air pipes, bagpipes.
Oh, okay.
Bagpipe. So you kind of
Almost
think of
Irish.
Irish music, but it is the Celtic towns. So you get the history
Oh, yeah.
of all the Celtic, the Vikings, and all that. That's more north, and it's a little more serious music. If you go down, this when you get the flamenco and the life
Right.
and the beauty, the hot weather kind of music. But every single region have a type of music that's typical for that region. So you
And
can just hear a song. My dad would have been great. They say that song is from this region or that region. I'm not that good, but yeah.
and I'm going to tell you that there are parts of Spain that we had some of the best techno artists come from.
Yes, because we're
So
rocking music.
yes, and so it's a whole bunch of different things. Thank you for sharing part of your country with us. I think
love it.
I mean, I
Thank you.
love that because one of these days, Steve and I will get there.
Maybe we all go together.
Yes, I hope so, because I would love to see your little town. Maybe not stay there for,
It's okay.
but
I will stay. I show you.
and I love it.
20 minutes later,
Yeah, I know. I'll be like back to Madrid, and of course, all your kids will come with us.
Yeah, there you go. You can take them.
But I would love to. I know Steve
All
wants
my
to go
kids.
there.
I
I
only
want to
have
go
2.
there.
The way you
I
say
said-
all my kids, it's like I only got 2.
She's got 15. No, I'm kidding. She's got 2. She's got 2. But when you're there, I mean, your nieces, your nephews,
yeah.
and stuff like that.
They can't go. They have to stay with me.
No, well, I'll just take your kids
You can
because
take
you
my
deal
kids.
with them every day.
I
So,
can see them. I can see them anytime.
but I'm excited. Thank you so much.
No,
and
thank you for having me.
yes, absolutely. Now we're not over yet, so don't
Okay.
run away.
Oh.
I know that we're going to talk. I'm going to move this,
Yeah.
and we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to kind of pivot a little bit to the last 15 minutes talking about advertising, and I know it's a completely separate thing, but I think it's in Michigan advertising, local advertising. The reason I'm bringing this up is because we do the icons. It's all behind
Where
us.
you're standing,
Yep,
yeah.
it's all behind us. We are doing an icon series where we are featuring Detroit, and it's called Detroit Icons. So we thought that we'd tie in towards the end of the show about some of the local flares that may not make our icon series, but still are worth talking about, and how we advertise.
The
with
Icon
those.
series is about businesses who've weathered the last 7,500 years
Right.
and are still around. Most of what we have represented back
Mhm.
here is companies that aren't still around. And
True.
that's why so many people have such a definitive nostalgia for them,
Mhm.
in that they're not here anymore.
Right.
So you can't go to them. So when you see something that reminds you of it, you're not going to see the sign driving down the street like you'd see a Jack in the Box or a Hardee's
Right.
in the West Coast. So when you see something like that here, it's that fond memories, it's that rush of memories. And that's what we do here.
So is there something specific? Did you pick something that you wanted to talk about?
Nothing
or,
really specific.
you know-
I mean, it all has its own flair, panache, following, nostalgia for somebody.
I mean, including this is silly. It's a cozy, but it's WCSX radio station.
And that's when it,
Detroit's classic rock.
yeah, and that's been country for a long time.
Been country forever.
So the people that may have grown up with a 94.7 bumper sticker, or the ones that just like it when it's a country station, will be nostalgic for what it was previously.
Now, you guys are seeing the back of me, but I'm just grabbing for stuff like these. I mean, the Holland, the advertising.
These are quite collectible. These
Yeah.
are pennants. You would get them. For a long time, they really weren't that
this.
hot a thing, but the last 5-10 years, but you'd buy them at any gift shop, just like you would a refrigerator magnet or a postcard. So Frank and Muth, and a lot of times the graphics are what sell these. Like when you find one with from Atlantic City with a bathing beauty in a 1930s
I know,
bathing
right?
suit, one
I
piece,
know.
that will add value. But people just love. There's Greenfield Village. Here's Harrisville, Michigan.
John said something about Toledo.
Oh, he's talking about the city of Toledo, the real Toledo, Spain.
Is that what this Toledo's named after?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, Toledo, Spain is a iron knife bladed weapon capital.
One of
That's
the
where a
most
lot
beautiful
of-
cities when it comes to history.
It's where a lot of edged weapons, some of the finest edged weapons were made. In
I
Toledo,
didn't know
Spain.
that.
No.
Thank you, John, for mentioning that.
Every country had one. Solage in
Mhm.
Germany.
Yeah.
Toledo, Spain.
Yeah.
Huh.
They all had one.
these were a great advertising, fans,
Yeah.
because back then, I mean, you'd need them. We didn't have air conditioning.
Yeah.
People would hand
Same
those
in
out.
Spain, probably.
In Spain, you use them to communicate too.
Oh, well, that's true.
They used to be able to communicate with their fans.
So with the advertisement, like America is very product driven. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? Product. Consumerism.
Right.
So would you consider Spain consumerism?
Today? Yeah.
Yes, but when you were growing up.
When I was growing up, it was. I mean, it was commercials on that. But,
Right.
In my house, my mom used the same products that she always used.
Right.
So it was not like, oh, I saw that commercial, let's try this thing, you know.
Oh, true.
So it had changed with time.
I think the commercialism really started here after the post-World War II
Yeah.
took off in the 50s. And I think by the 60s, 70s, it had pretty much taken over the planet.
Because I know that we put our names on every single thing that we possibly could have, from fans to get the product in front of your face. Same with the matchbooks covers, which are right over there.
They would put them on needle cases for women's sewing kits. Everything.
Yeah.
Can you hand me that? I was going to show some of them. And some of these are like, they're really cool. We have a ton. So if you like to collect something of local, and I'm sure there's stuff in here from Spain too, you know,
I
but
used to collect them, and
you know, the Playboy Club that was in Spain.
There you go.
Yeah, the Playboy Club. So this is a great way to collect things from around, you know, different time periods.
Well, what's cool about matches, specifically this lot that we got, is, you know, a lot of companies have big budgets for advertising, and they'll, you know, make glasses and purses and stickers and everything else. But a lot of small mom and pop businesses, or just small businesses, one of the only things they could really advertise with was matchbook covers.
Look at that one. It's nothing.
You'll find a lot of companies that didn't advertise anywhere else on matchbook covers. And what was really cool about this lot was I bought about 1,500 matchbook covers. And they were just covers. Back then, they didn't collect the whole book. They would just cut off the cover. But a lot of the covers in here were from small little mom and pop beauty shops, fruit stands,
or Playboy Clubs,
bars, party stores.
We had every single one there was.
And we get people in all the time who, because we have a Detroit section, and they'll be like, well, my grandparents came over here from Italy in the 1920s, and they opened up a little market down at Shane and Gratiot. And if you ever come across anything, well, this is one of the few times that I can actually tell people it could be in here, because there are so many small, insignificant, I mean, not insignificant, and I mean, lost to history businesses and stores. And some of the names are a riot.
They are.
It was like way pre like laser printing.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
8 billion colors on the matchbook and the tchotchke and all this. You had to be very, maybe they could only afford one color, so you had to be very creative.
Yeah, well,
you did.
But a little mom and pop grocery store down in you know, Detroit, they may have only bought a box or two and tried it and it didn't work. So there may have only been 50 to 100 of these out there to begin with. And now if a family member could actually find one of those, it's like a needle in a haystack.
Like this one is an insurance company, so it's probably an independent insurance, and in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, and the phone number is LUZ 7585.
I think that would be Luzon, because they always TU was tuxedo. They would always say tuxedo 4565.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they said Luzon.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Luzon
They use
7585.
standard abbreviations.
And that's the phone number, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been the phone number.
And there were no area codes.
Growing up, one of the things the business did, and my mom
Before
always got them, was little calendars in the end of the year as a gift. And they were just pocket size with pictures, and they have tiny little calendars that were super cool.
Another little one was like the little stirs that they would do, especially with bars and different things. And like this one right here is Victor Lime's Orient of Detroit, which is pretty cool. But these little things, and then I'm holding an Eyewitness News hotline for the 6th edition. And it's for Channel 2, WJBK TV Detroit, but it's the Eyewitness News hotline that you would call. So people would give these away so that if there was something that they wanted them to hunt down, they call that number.
There was we have some over here. There was a column in the newspaper, like a help column. It was called Contact 10, and we have a Contact 10 cup over here somewhere. But this, I was going to show people this one. This one's kind of cool, because before they were actually doing this with the matches were somewhat plain, And
Hold
this
it up to that
company,
camera right there.
before they actually had matchbook covers with all the
Yeah, you can come
information on them, this company made little
beautiful.
leather and brass covers that you put your matches in, and they advertised on the leather cover.
So they were
trying to do it
leather
before.
holding case for your matches.
and so that was high class.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
Isn't that cool? So
then-
these are what's
And
collectible
then
today.
one other thing, this is a cool advertising piece we've talked about recently.
This is a cool advertising piece.
Now, everybody's heard the story about depression glass
Yeah.
and how you used to get it in boxes of soap flakes at the supermarket, or you went to the movie theater and you got a piece. Well, this isn't for depression glass, but this is for the set of dishes. And you want to take it around, Jason? Or
I'll just hold it up here. No,
Can you
don't
see
take
it
it
from
around.
there?
He's got it.
This one said,
Yeah.
well,
Oh, okay.
every woman can secure a complete 52-piece dinner set in this pattern by attending the Martha Washington Theater on Friday nights starting October 16th. Martha Washington Theater, Hamtramck, Michigan. So if you committed to going to the theater every Friday night for 52 weeks, you got a piece of this. And when it was all said and done, you had a 4-piece setting of this particular China pattern.
It's hilarious because you would find these, and you would find dishes in boxes, boxes of soap, stuff like that. So this is cool because not only are you advertising that you're going to get a dinnerware set for every time you go, you're going to get a plate, but it's also making them money because you're coming every week.
Right.
52 weeks.
I mean, that's a commitment.
Yes.
Do you want a dish set? That's a commitment.
But some of the finer, when someone got married nowadays, you do a gift registry and they get you your China sets.
And there's no name
Back
on
then,
it.
they apparently didn't have that option
she?
necessarily. So the people who were starting out, they would have to put it together piece by piece.
You know, it's funny. I wish they still did that, because even back in the 70s, I remember going to the local Ben Franklin's, which would be the dime store back then, and they would buy a box of soap and there'd be a plate in
That's
it.
how my mom got many of the dishes.
Yes,
Yeah.
or they would buy the plate of the month. And I remember them going, "Oh, we need this. It's the next plate of the month." But advertising on items, whether it's in Spain, whether it's here in Mexico, in anywhere, it's all the same. We all have to get our name out there somehow.
Right.
So they, doing all the advertising, and we're standing right now in the area where it has all the local advertising. And I don't mean just St. Clair Shores or Detroit. I mean Michigan in general. So if you're coming here and you want to,
like,
what are
the
you pointing
recipe
at?
book, WWJ.
Tons of
Oh,
sports.
this
Bob
right here.
Allison.
Tons of sports stuff too.
Yeah. Bob Allison.
Old school
May he
Tigers,
rest
like
in
those,
peace.
those Coca-Cola cans. And
Oh, yeah.
Glasses, commemorative glasses, pennants.
Pennants, you name it. All Michigan standing that's why we did Michigan into sports, because Michigan it's like a quarter of Michigan is sports, synonymous. So, I mean, you can see we have all the boat flags, all the hats.
Those are all Power Squadron.
Yep. And then up here we have different local things.
Look at like the Packers, the
I don't know if he can see that though.
Oh, the lamp.
Yeah, the lamp. I don't know if he can see that over there.
Yeah, we had those sheets as a kid.
Did you?
We had those. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Michigan, or the advertising in the local area, is very, very diverse. So, from sports to politics to just old businesses, and then old tourist spots.
Mm-hmm.
We get people come, and believe it or not. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something before we move on, because we're getting close to the time. We get customers coming in, getting. I was up in Traverse City for the week, when he wasn't up in Traverse City for the week.
No, we get people coming in looking for the refrigerator magnets from specific towns,
so they can buy it
because they told their spouse that they were going to be out of town on business.
We've actually had people do this,
and they come in looking for magnets from cities and states that they can say they were at and they weren't.
But what kills me is, okay, fine, here's one, but you do realize that your spouse will probably realize that this is from 1970.
Yeah, it looks old.
I bought it as an antique.
I know, but it kills me because we actually get people doing that. It kills me. But
they got in a DeLorean and went back.
Right? And went back. God, I wish. But old tourist stuff too, because there are tourist parts of Michigan and your local place as well as Spain that don't exist anymore. And if for one reason or another.
Well, it's not just that they don't exist. It's that they have some of the fondest memories people have as adults is amusement parks and what do you call it? Destination places that they would go as kids. And when they come across those things, like you find old Cedar Point stuff, but usually they'll want the one that has the ride that was new on that particular advertising piece. So like we found some Cedar Point stuff where it's just got a merry-go-round, the old cars, and like the log ride, and that's all.
Or
so that
it'll
tells
be
you it's
Putin
probably
Bay
from the 50s or 60s.
with the campground, which doesn't exist anymore. So,
but people who stayed at that campground, they will bend over backwards to try to attain something to put on a shelf so that every time they look at it, they just think of those fun family weekends when they were kids.
And I'm going to tie this in to what we were talking about before. When you go and you go to honor your loved ones, whether it is with a feast or it is, sitting in prayer, you're going to remember the times you spent with them there. Right. So that is why we're talking about, Spanish and Hispanic heritage and go advertising of businesses that aren't there anymore, or advertising memories, because you can sit with your loved ones over the grave of a loved one and remember the times you spent at these places together. Wow, that tied in good. You did a good job. So, any last words?
Well, I'll just tell a quick story about my dad.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's about the nostalgia a little bit, but my dad used to say
Can you see him?
The Christmas Story movie, he was born in 36. Christmas Story movie took place in 39, 40, or 40, 41. But he used to always say that was the closest he ever saw to actually portraying what being a kid and the world was like in that era, in that late 30s, early 40s.
You hear a lot of people say that.
And
they did a fantastic job.
He always said that. And he said to the point that he would run home from work from school because there were some bullies that would chase him, and his grandmother was exactly halfway home to his house. So he'd run to her house, wait till the bullies had gone, then he'd go home. And he said that he also ordered not a decoder ring. He ordered the ring from the Lone Ranger that was a little pistol on a ring.
Did he ever get it?
And he would run home and he would check the mailbox just like Ralphie and The Christmas Story. And it never came. He never got it. And he told me that. And the following Christmas, I went online and I actually found one for him.
Oh, did you really? I didn't know that.
I tear up thinking about it.
Oh, that's
and
so sweet.
I got it for him. And I gave it to him at Christmas. And he was so happy. But it was just one of those things, though, that
I never knew that story.
I have it sitting next to his ashes on the shelf.
Wow.
That is awesome.
But he got it.
When was that? What year was that? I knew his father. I knew him well.
I think I got it for him probably in 05, 06.
Wow.
I ordered it on. It cost like $80.
Well, I would have known that.
It was a cereal premium.
Wait a minute here. 80 in when?
Like 2006,
I was with you then.
I know.
I don't know
why you don't remember. It was more memorable for him and me than you.
Yes, but I knew your dad, and that does not surprise me with that. But
yeah, he said that.
This is a man who showed no emotion, but I bet he did that day.
He did. Because there was also a movie that same Christmas. There was a movie that he had seen when he was a teenager at a theater, and he never saw it again.
I hope you're watching.
He's never seen it on. And I found it on some obscure website that actually was selling bootleg copies of old movies. And I found it for him and got it. And he watched that too. And I asked him how that was. And he said, he remembered it as being better.
That's funny.
Yeah, we should have left it alone.
I love that story because we got to spend a day at the house. But I'm going to tell you, if you love that story and those types of things always are reminiscent and makes you, think fondly, don't watch the behind the scenes of the movie, because half the stuff they were wearing was not from the time period. They turned the hats backwards. And
there was, I think you're talking about the one instance where they actually filmed something with a guy wearing a 1980s sports hat, knit hat with the pom-pom
And they
on
made
top.
him turn it around.
And nobody noticed. And it made it through the editing, and it's part of the final cut. And when he's outside and the neighbors are gathering to look at the leg lamp in the window, he's standing out there, and the guy walks up. He says, "Whoa, what's that?" If you look, the guy's wearing a hat that didn't exist for 30 years.
And you know the whole funny that, and we're going on a tangent, but the teacher in the teacher room, the teacher in school, she would not come down to America. So
she was pregnant.
Yeah, she was pregnant, and she couldn't travel to America, but they wanted her as the teacher. So they filmed everything here except for the school scenes. They all went up there so that she could be the teacher.
Oh my God.
They all went to Canada so she could be the teacher. Isn't that pretty? I mean, that would make me feel good if I were her. So I know we're running late once again, but we do have some cool things coming up. We are filming our first collections show tomorrow, and then Roberto will put it together, and it will be gorgeous. I'm excited about it because we're doing the Hudson automobile, right? And so that starts tomorrow, but it won't be out for a couple of weeks. So, and then we're going to do Mount Clemens as well. But so we have a lot going on. You know, I'm so excited, and for the Icon series, I cannot tell you how excited I am about that. Huge release party when it comes out at the beginning of 26 on Amazon.
January 14th is a good day.
Well, it's not up to me. I will tell them I want it on January 14th, and they will say, "Here they are, put it out." But I'm working with Amazon on that, and I am beyond humbled that they are interested. But we are filming the next one on Monday, and I'm excited about it. But we did just wrap up Henry the Hatter. So you guys are going to learn a lot of different things about that. And then we have some great ones going on. We have a fun show we're going to be taping on the 6th of October. It will be released on Halloween. And Roberto's hearing that for the first time. It will be released on Halloween. We will be at Mythos Museum, and we will have guests. We will have Matt Kelly showing up to talk about his stuff. Different guests there talking about their stuff that they have in the museum, as well as Steve Shipp, who runs the museum. And he also is an artist and does natural history art, right?
Yeah, he does a lot of the replica bones and fossils and skeletons of dinosaurs. He used to do the resin molds of those.
For the major
museums.
I mean, for the major
a lot of what you see in museums is not real bone.
We were just at the Natural
skeleton.
History Museum, and
they'll usually state as much, but that's what he makes. And I mean, some of these are legs that are like Flintstones. You know?
So I'm excited about that. So you will see that coming out. We got a lot going on. And Maria, thank you again for coming and sharing part of your home country with us. And we will get there one day, I promise.
I will. I love it.
And Steve, of course, you're always great to have on, even though I see you every day. No, your knowledge is crazy.
Yes.
It is, the amount you know here. So anyways, you guys have a good night. And Roberto, thank you. And we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye.